Okay, we're picking up where the last video left off. We have a background image now and a bouncing circle. And I want to replace the circle with something more delicious. So I want another pimage variable because I want to load another image. So instead of calling it background, I'm going to call it pi. And now I want to find a good image of pi. So let's find one. Here's Google. I will search for pi. I love a search for pi. This looks like a nice one. So I'm going to save this image now. Right click, say save as, save link as. Oh, beware. This says Chrome HTML document. I do not want to save the HTML document. I want to save the image as. Depending on what browser you're using, you might have to do something different here, but you want to save the image. Again, we're only using images because this is just for our own playing purposes. If you were going to use this for anybody else, you would need to make sure that the images were not copyrighted. And again, you want to save this to a place where you're going to know where it is. Your USB key. I'm saving mine to C drive data folder. Let's see, it's called apple-pi, and it's a JPEG image. Okay, so I'm going to save it. And now I can do the same thing I did before for the background image. I will say pi is the name of my pimage variable that I want to save the image into. And it is in C data, but it's called apple-pi.jpg. And now down here, instead of saying ellipse, let's just comment this out for the moment. If you remember ellipse, this XY is where the center of the ellipse is, and this is the width and the height. We're going to use the image command. The image command, you give it a p image as the first input, and ours was called pi. The second two things you give it are the XY coordinates where you want it to display. So if I say pi 300, 300, oh, there's my pi displayed right at the middle. The upper left-hand corner of the image is right at 300, 300, and the image seems extremely giant. So you could do two things. You could load the image inside, you could load this image inside your Photoshop or what have you, and you could resize it. You can also resize it automatically here with two more inputs. So this is the XY coordinate where the upper left-hand corner is. This is the width and the height that it will automatically display as. So there it is as 100 by 100. Here it is as 200 by 200. And you see it just automatically resizes. Alright. So I don't want it to be at 300, 300. I want it to be moving around the same way the last one did. So if I use X and Y, just the same way I used for ellipse, now it's displaying at the XY coordinates, which are changing all the time because I'm adding things to them. Alright, well this isn't that nice yet because we've got that ugly white part around the outside. So it would be nice if I could make the white part transparent. You're going to have to do this yourself in Photoshop. I can show you how to do it in Paint.net. So I'm going to open my apple pie image. And what you do in Photoshop is going to be very similar to what we do in Paint.net. You're going to want the magic wand tool, and you're going to want to select all the white part. And the magic wand tool should be able to just select only the one color. And then if I delete it, now I've got a transparent background, and I can save the image right over top of the old one. So I've saved it as applepie.png. Oh, I'm sorry, applepie.jpg. And now when I'm back in here, oops, nothing has happened. Did I not? Oh, I'm sorry, JPEG. Sorry, I don't think we support transparency in JPEGs. So let's save it as .png. Photoshop should also let you save this as a PNG file. PNG is just a certain type of compression for photos. Alright, so apple pie. I'm going to call it apple pie still. Well, let's just call it pie. So now my new thing is going to be called pi.png. And it's talking about what do I want to save it as, and that's all fine. Okay. So now back here, instead of loading image applepie.jpg, I'm going to load pi.png. And now when I run it, alright, much better. Now I've got a nice looking pie. Space pie. So feel free to make your game a lot more entertaining by replacing all of your background things and ellipses with very nice images. Enjoy!